most sophisticated new singer-songwriters in contemporary country music. Lyle Lovett has become one of the fastest rising stars in recent times and is noted for both his lyrical gifts and sharp-witted social commentary. Another American original on the Lonesome Pine Specials.
Was it the champagne? Was it the caviar? Was it an airplane? Was it a daddy's car? Was it the new van or the door? Why, I don't know, I just had to go. Was that the yacht club, the toasted fishing boat? Was that a leg of lamb or was it belly goat? Was that a snail, baby, an escargot? Why, I don't know, I just had to go. I'm just a poor boy, I like to have fun. I know a pretty girl when I see one. I seen the real thing, the imitation too, baby. So don't go telling me what to do. Was that a beer joint, or was that the country club? Were we fooling around, or was it truly love? Was that a foreign film, or just a show? Why, I don't know, I just had to go. I know a pretty girl when I see one. I seen the real thing, the imitation too, baby. So don't go telling me what to do. So keep your champagne and keep your caviar and fly your airplane into your daddy's car. And so you understand, I'll tell you slow. Why, I don't know, I just had to go. Great, Herndon. She wore glass slippers, she held her head up high. She had that sparkle at her feet and a twinkle in her eye. She smiled at me, as I wondered why, she said, I'm looking for a cowboy to take me for a ride. And he can roll me on the prairie, and he can ride me on the plain, and I will be his Cinderella if he'll be my cowboy man. She said, I got a 40-gallon Stetson hat with a 38-foot brim. We could dance around the outside, baby, until we both fall. And you can roll me on the prairie, and you can ride me on the plain, and I will be your Cinderella if you'll be my cowboy man. Never been no cowboy, but heaven knows I tried. 'Cause I'll be riding tall in my saddle, honey, with that Cinderella by my side. And I can roll her on the prairie, and I can ride her on the plain, and she will be my Cinderella, and I'll be her cowboy man. And I can roll her on the prairie, and I can ride her on the plain, and she will be my Cinderella, and I'll be her cowboy man. She hates my mama, she hates my daddy too. She loves to tell me she hates the things I do. She loves to lie beside me almost every night. Well, she's no lady, she's my wife. The preacher asked her, and she said, I do. The preacher asked me, and she said, yes, he does too. The preacher said, I pronounce you 99 too late. Son, she's no lady, she's your wife. And I can't remember how I met her. Seemed like she's always just been a hanging here off my right arm. And I can't remember how I ever thought that I just couldn't live without a woman's charm. And even though she loves the smell of French perfume, and even though she walks around in high-heel shoes, well, all I know is I'm the one who pays her price. Man, she's no lady, she's my wife. And I can't remember how I met her. Seemed like she's always just been a hanging here off my right arm. And I can't remember how I ever thought that I just couldn't live without a woman's charm. Yeah, she hates my mama, she hates my daddy too. She loves to tell me how much she hates the things I do. She loves to lie beside me almost every night. Well, she's no lady, she's my wife. Well, she's no lady, she's mine away.
Thank you very much. I started out doing other people's songs. I was listening to a lot of Texas music at the time, writers like Guy Clark and Townes Van Zandt and Michael Murphy and Willis Allen Ramsey and Stephen Fromholtz and Willie Nelson, of course, and Jerry Jeff Walker. I was interested in their music just from enjoying it, and so really I was interested in learning how to play the guitar, and so I tried to learn their songs to learn how to play the guitar. And when the first couple of years I performed, I played in restaurants and clubs around school, and I did their songs. So it was in my effort of learning how to play the guitar that I started writing songs. Really, trying to pick a song off a record and get it to sound like the record was always hard for me. So it was really easier just to make something up than to really play it right like a record. So that's what got me into writing songs.
I always wanted to be a real cowboy. Somewhere along the way, something didn't happen. This is a song about wanting to be a cowboy out on the ocean.
And if I had a boat, I'd go out on the ocean. And if I had a pony, I'd ride him on my boat. And we could all together go out on the ocean. I set me up on my pony on my boat. And if I were Roy Rogers, I'd sure enough be single. I couldn't bring myself to marry an old Dale. Will it just be me and Trigger? We'd go riding through them movies, then we'd buy a boat and on the sea we'd sail. And if I had a boat, I'd go out on the ocean. And if I had a pony, I'd ride him on my boat. And we could all together go out on the ocean. I set me up on my pony on my boat. Well, now the mystery masked man was smart. He got himself a Tonto, 'cause Tonto did the dirty work for free. But Tonto, he was smarter, and one day said, Kemosabe, well, kiss my ass, I bought a boat, I'm going out to sea. And if I had a boat, I'd go out on the ocean. And if I had a pony, I'd ride him on my boat. And we could all together go out on the ocean. I set me up on my pony on my boat. And if I were like lightning, I wouldn't need no sneakers. Well, I'd come and go whenever I would please. And I'd scare 'em by the shade tree, and I'd scare 'em by the light pole, but I would not scare my pony on my boat out on the sea. And if I had a boat, I'd go out on the ocean. And if I had a pony, I'd ride on my boat. And we could all together go out on the ocean. I set me up on my pony on my boat. I set me up on my pony on my boat. This old porch is like a big old red and white Hereford bull standing under a mesquite tree. Out now with Dulce, and he just keeps on playing hide and seek with that hot August sun. Just a sweating and a panting, 'cause his work is never done. And this old porch is like a steaming greasy plate of enchiladas with lots of cheese and onions and a guacamole salad. And you can get them down at the La Salle Hotel in old downtown with iced tea and a waitress, and she will smile every time. And this old porch is the palace walking on the main street of Texas. It's never seen the day. A GNR in excess with that 62 poster. It's almost faded down, and a screen without a picture since Giant came to town. This old porch is like a weathered, gray-haired 70 years in Texas. He's doing all he can not to give in to the city, and he always takes the rent late so long as I run the cattle. And he picks me up at dinner time, and I listen to him rattle. He says the Brazos still runs muddy, and just like she's run all along, and there ain't never been no cane to grind. The cotton's all but gone, and you know this brand new Chevrolet, now hell, it was something back in '60, but now there won't nobody listen to him, 'cause they all think he's crazy. And this old porch is just a long time waiting and forgetting and remembering the coming back, and not crying about the leaving, and remembering the falling down and the laughter of the curse of luck from all of those passers-by who said we'd never get back up. This old porch is just a long time waiting and forgetting and remembering the coming back, and not crying about the leaving, and remembering the falling down and the laughter of the curse of luck from all of those sons of bitches who said we'd never get back up. They all sat around in a circle. They were laughing and all telling lies. And then the tall one, he bumped in and told her. He said, boys, I got nothing to hide. Now if the king and the queen stood together, then the ace, he would not be to blame. And if the cards were all laid on the table, then love could be more than a game. And if the stars didn't shine on the water, then the sun, it wouldn't burn on the sand. And if I were the man she wanted, I would not be the man that I am. And I have seen my share of long nights, and I have told my share of lies, and I have run into the darkness when I saw the look in your eyes. But if the night, it didn't lie in the darkness, then the daylight would be hard to find. And if the truth didn't turn to weakness, I would never have spoken my mind. And if the stars didn't shine on the water, then the sun, it wouldn't burn on the sand. And if I were the man you wanted, I would not be the man that I am. So if you're going out to California, then don't linger in New Mexico. And if you think of the one there behind you, then you might not feel so alone. And if the stars didn't shine on the water, the sun, it wouldn't burn on the sand. And if I were the man you wanted, I would not be the man that I am. Oh, if I were the man you wanted, I would not be the man that I am.
Thank you. I feel very fortunate that I'm really getting to represent the different kind of songs I write on my records. The record company has been very supportive and really helpful at just letting me do what I like to do. And some of my songs are a little bit off center from what you might expect to hear on country radio, but my first record and the second record, which we just finished recording, reflect more, I think, what you'd expect to see from a live show than just necessarily what you might expect to hear on the radio. Not every song on the records is intended to be a single for the radio.
This is a song about this fellow who goes out to this wedding and shoots the bride and groom.
Well, she left Dallas for California with an old friend at her side. Well, he did not say much, but 1 year later he'd ask her to be his wife. And the lights of LA County, they look like diamonds in the sky. When you're driving through the hours with an old friend at your side. 1 year later, I left Houston with an old friend at my side. Well, it did not say much, but it was a beauty of a cold black 45. And the lights of LA County, they look like diamonds in the sky. When you're driving through the hours with an old friend at my side. And so I drove on all the day long, and I drove on through the night. And I thought of her waiting for to be his blushing bride. And the lights of LA County, they look like diamonds in the sky. As I drove in to the valley with my old friend at my side. And as she stood there at the altar, all dressed in her gown of white, Lord, her face was bright as the stars are shining, like I dreamed of all my life. And they kissed each other, and they turned around, and they saw me standing in the aisle. Well, I did not say much, I just stood there watching as that 45 told him goodbye. And the lights of LA County look like diamonds in the sky. When you're kneeling at the altar with an old friend at your side. And the lights of LA County are a mighty pretty sight. When you're kneeling at the altar with an old friend at your side. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. This is the only song about true love that I ever wrote. Yeah. I know it's about true love because it's the shortest song I ever wrote.
One. Who keeps on trusting you when you've been cheap and spending your nights on the town? And who keeps on saying that he still wants you when you're through running around? And who keeps on loving you when you've been lying, saying things that ain't what they seem? Well, God does, but I don't. God will, but I won't. That's the difference between God and me. God does, but I don't. God will, but I won't. That's the difference between God and me. So who says he'll forgive you and says that he'll miss you and dream of your sweet memory? Well, God does, but I don't. God will, but I won't. That's the difference between God and me. God does, but I don't. between you and me. Thank you. Lord, the two-step it drug like a ball and chain. While the band was playing something like Moon River, or somewhere over the rainbow. I was chasing the black man with the champagne, and I was chasing the black girl with the oysters Rockefeller. It was a highbrow occasion for no special reason, and nobody knew, said nobody knew, that the flowers were furnished by the funeral parlor, and the whole thing was paid for by the funeral director who poisoned the saxophone section. If you ain't the big daddy, well, you ain't nobody. If you ain't the big daddy, you ain't nobody. Be red and yellow, black and tan, but white, that's the color of the vehicles, man. It's a 20-piece orchestra at the Warwick Hotel. Some bad man from the opera who tried to sing Misty. It was black men and black boys and white ties and tails and mascara and rouge and fake fingernails. And if you ain't the big daddy, well, you ain't nobody. If you ain't the big daddy, you ain't nobody. You're red and yellow, black and tan, but white, that's the color of the vehicles, man. So they had everywhere, man. They had one on every foot and every hand. They was all saying yes, sir, and right away, man. They was picking up plates and they was pouring the wine. And they was checking umbrellas and making shoes shine. And they was handing out towels in the washroom for a quarter. It was an acceptable level of ecstasy as far as everyone could see. Nobody knew, said nobody knew. Flowers were furnished by the funeral parlor, and the whole thing was paid for by the funeral director who poisoned the saxophone section. If you ain't the big daddy, well, you ain't nobody. If you ain't the big daddy, you ain't nobody. So, he red and yellow, black and tan, but white, that's the color of the vehicles, man. So, he red and yellow, black and tan, but white, that's the color of the vehicles.
Thank you very much.
That was my cousin Martha's wedding, actually, and I grew up in the same place just outside of Houston all my life, and have a million relatives down there. My mom's family is one of the original families in the area, and her first cousin and his family, they own the funeral home in Tomball, Texas, and they also have a supermarket there too. So it's an old family business, and I was just teasing them, really. They had her wedding was really great, and but there were aspects of it that were very much Old South, and that's really what I was pointing to in that song.
Well, I'm a traveling man, don't tie me down. There's just too much living going all around. A man, he's gotta see what he can see. Well, I love the road and I love the air. I don't worry, I never care. I love my women, sometimes they love me. But I was got one day, I still don't know how. I didn't even like that town. This fella said, stranger, why don't you just go on home? Well, I said, man, that's where I'm headed to, and you couldn't stop me if you knew what to do. And I left and I planned to go along, but the road was long and home was far. So I stopped off this little cowboy-looking bar, walked on through the door. She just smiled. Well, then a long ponytail and a pretty white dress. She said, hi, bull riders do it best. I said, oh my God, what's your name? My name's Lyle. And I said, ooh, get back my hook, the redneck woman. Take your boots and walk out of my lane. And I said, ooh, get back my hook, the redneck woman. I can't be no cowgirl, paradise. Now I looked at her and she looked at me, and I looked back and she looked back, and we went out together for a walk. Well, all her eyes were bright just like the stars, but she drove a pickup, said she hated cars, but loved to ride around out after dark. And I said, ooh, get back my heart, the redneck woman. Take your boots and walk out of my lane. And I said, ooh, get back my heart, the redneck woman. I can't be no cowgirl, paradise. And it just crawls right up your sleeve. Ooh, get back my heart, the redneck. I can't be no cowgirl, paradise. Well, now how she did it, I'll never know, but it's been maybe 20 years or so, and she cooks us supper and I try to pay her rent. But I'm a traveling man, don't tie me down. There's just too much living going all around, but I can't figure out quite where it went. When I think, ooh, get back my heart, the redneck woman. Take your boots and walk out of my lane. When I think, ooh, get back my heart, the redneck woman. I can't be no cowgirl, paradise. Saying I can't be no cowgirl, paradise. I can't be no cowgirl, paradise. Thank you very much. Waltzing fool, he's got lights in his fingers. The waltzing fool, they just don't never say. The waltzing fool, he keeps his hands in his pockets and waltzes the evening away. And it's a waltz to a woman who's lying beside him. It's a waltz to a face on the wall when she's gone. And it's a waltz to the rodeo, the damn thing it rides him. It's a waltz to a waltz. And now the waltzing fool, he just might be crazy, because the waltzing fool, he keeps the moon in his car. And the waltzing fool, he says it's running on waltzes and waltzes. It's a waltz to a woman who's lying beside him. It's a waltz to a face on the wall when she's gone. It's a waltz to the rodeo, the damn thing it rides him. It's a waltz to a waltz, just a waltz to a waltz. And now the waltzing fool, they say he's been drinking, but the waltzing fool has just got mud on his shoes. And the waltzing fool, he knows they're all thinking he's only an old waltzing fool. But the waltzing fool, he's got lights in his fingers. The waltzing fool, he just don't never say. The waltzing fool, he keeps his hands in his pockets and waltzes the evening away. The waltzing fool, his hands in his pockets, he's waltzing the evening away. Thank you very much. She was old enough to know better, and she was strong enough to be true, and she was hard enough to know whether he was smart enough to know what to do. And you can't resist it when it happens to you. No, you can't resist it when it happens to you. And you can tell your story, and you can swear it's true, but you can save your life for some other fool. And you can't resist it when it happens to you. No, you can't resist it when it happens to you. She was old enough to know better, and she was strong enough to be true, and she was hard enough resist it when it happens to you. No, you can't resist it when it happens to you. And you can't resist it when it happens to you. No, you can't resist it when it happens to you.
Thank you very much. I've always enjoyed getting to play, and I've always enjoyed playing my own songs. I feel like that's really the most, I don't know, the most viable thing I have to offer is my point of view, and above anything else, above singing or performing in general. So I feel comfortable doing my own songs because I do get to express my point of view, and to get to record all my own songs on the records that I've made is very gratifying. And so, sure, I don't ever want to stop playing.
When I find a man good loving ain't an easy thing to do. You gotta know just what you're looking for and where to find it too. She's hot to go, she's ready, she's hot to go right now. She's hot to go, you got to know that stop and do it, girl. I don't have no length of shopping, you don't have to stand in line. You don't have to care who sees your hair, you don't have to waste your time. She's hot to go, she's ready, she's hot to go right now. She's hot to go, you got to know that stop and do it, girl. Or you can stop by in the morning, or you can stop by late at night, or you can stop by your ugly friend, or if you look alright. 'Cause she's hot to go, she's ready, she's hot to go right now. She's hot to go, you got to know that stop and do it, girl. That's Matt Rawlings playing the piano. John Hagan on the cello. Ray Herndon on it. Matt McKinsey on the bass. Tomlinson on the drums. And I crept up from behind her, she looked so fine to me. But when I stepped around her, man, my eyes could plainly see she was ugly from the front. She was ugly from the front. She was ugly from the front. I said, I can handle it behind her, and I like it on the side. But don't make me look around her, man. She's she was ugly from the front. She was ugly from the front. She was ugly from the front. I said, this girl was so ugly. She's hot to go, she's ready. She's hot to go right now. She's hot to go, you got to know that stop and do it again.
Thank you all very much for coming. We've had a really great time. Thanks to all the folks connected with the Lonesome Pine special. Dick Van Cleef is a wonderful human being, and thank you for having us.
The night she is a true companion. They shuffle in, they hear the sound. But by night's end, it's nights abandoned. You look across the flooring and it wanders around. Closing time, unplug them people and send them home. It's closing time. Now Kenny's been mixing sound all evening. Sometimes I think that boy, he ain't got no ears. Kathy's laughing, and Kathy's always laughing. Oh, keep on laughing, Kathy, just make it out of here. Closing time, unplug them people and send them home. It's closing time. Closing time, unplug them people and send them home. It's closing time. Stack those chairs upon those tables. Stack those empties upon that board. And count your money, oh, and count my money. And hear those bottles ring, you know where you are. Closing time, unplug them people and send them home. It's closing time, closing time, unplug them people and send them home. It's closing time. Night's all that's left behind. Will you take your part and I'll take mine and go on home? It's closing time. Thank you very much.